All right. So in today's session, what I want to cover, or what I want you to work together with me, is to build a plan for your PhD. What is it that you should do if you are in year one? And I see there is a mix of students who have joined the session. Some of you are in year one, some are in year two, some are in the final year. So there is a lot of different and varied experience that we can leverage upon. And my intention behind running this session is to build a very comprehensive research plan for your PhDs. Okay, so if you know what you need to do and then you do it, you know when you can finish it. So it's something similar. You can imagine like a staircase. You are at the very bottom, which is year one. And if you can see the complete stairs from the bottom all the way till the top, that is where you want to be. You know how many steps you have to take. You know what steps need to be taken. And then you can prepare and plan for that effectively. So that is the plan behind running these 3 sessions. And at the end, I'm hoping that we get a very thorough plan. All right. Before we begin, if you look at the YouTube description, the video description in the YouTube, there are a couple of links that I have copied there. So we would be using those links today. So I would suggest, if you have not already opened them, open them now, so that when we begin, you all are ready. So one of that is a Google form. I had sent it out yesterday, and the idea behind sending that form was to get you to start thinking about some of the activities that you want to do this year. So I had 12 options there. Some of you have replied and filled up those forms. And I don't know how many of you are here who have completed that form. So I suggest the first task that we do today is to get that form filled. So take maybe probably 5 or 10 minutes maybe. Just think carefully of what activities you want to achieve. One activity each month. Yeah, it's as simple as that. I have tried to do it. But don't just repeat the same activity in those 12 things. Think about it, give it a careful thought, and add at least 12 different activities. And for now, put it in the form, and we will then use all that information from all of you that you have, who have submitted, and those that we have joined now, and we will come up with a very thorough plan that everyone can benefit from. Okay, so I will give you 10 minutes to start and filling up the form. So open up the Google Forms and start filling those 12 questions. Okay, I think all of you might have answered the questions now. Let's continue with the presentation, and then we will start the class activity, because most of today we will be doing a lot of class activity, but I still have some presentations. All right. So starting with PhD, what I thought was, I'll just briefly list some of the big activities, major activities that you have to do as part of your PhD. Okay. So here you can see we start off with research proposal. When you apply for admission, you might have to give a small research proposal, and then you have to build up on your research proposal in the first 6 months of your PhD. Research questions, you have to identify and formulate research questions, and you do this by undertaking a systematic literature review. Once you have done that, once your research questions are identified and you have been your research has been approved by the university after a presentation or a proposal acceptance process, You can start with your research, conduct your research, do the data collection, theory or framework development, gather your results, or if you're doing a simulation, conduct the simulation, then write thesis and submit it. And while doing your PhD, on many occasions or in many universities, you also get the opportunity to do some teaching and research assistant activities as a job. So that is also a part of your experience as a PhD, as part of the PhD program. Finally, you will have a viva or defense, depending upon which part of the world you're from. Many countries do have that. And you also will do attend conferences, present your research at conferences, and also write journals. This is a very high level activities that you will do in your PhD. So what is it that you should do in year one? So we want to the focus of today's session is year one of your PhD. And some of the activities that you do will be, we will see what all the activities you need to do during your year one. So broadly, I break the first year of your PhD into two categories, or 2 semesters for that matter. So in the first 6 months, you should aim for 2 or 3 some large major targets, and similarly another 2 or 3 targets for the second half of the year one of your PhD. So in normal course, in the first year of your PhD, the first 6 months of your PhD, you will most likely be working on refining and finalizing your research proposal and identifying and finalizing your research questions. So in my university, we give students 6 months, if they are working on their PhD in a full-time mode, to prepare their research proposal, and they have to give a presentation to a committee, to a panel. So that is the main objective, main thing that students will do or can do in the first 6 months of their PhD. And then depending upon how well you have progressed, how well you have done your research, you may be in a phase, you may be in a situation or a place that you can actually start your actual framework, conceptual framework or theoretical framework development, or even theory building, depending upon your type of your research. So that all should begin in the second part of the year one. So these 2 or 3 activities that we have, that I have suggested here, 2 or 3 targets, it is a good idea to break them down into several smaller. So the idea is that if you know your milestones, you know you can achieve them, and you can plan to achieve those milestones. But in the first instance, if you do not have the milestones, okay, so if you do not have the milestones, you will be just progressing without any plan. So we need these milestones to be there.